first. So Heritage Syndicate reveals. Let's look at those. First card was location Novigrad, has resilience, so mirroring most of the locations released in the past year. Profit 3, so you at least get something. At the end of your turn, gain 1 coin, so you get 3 coins to play with immediately and 1 coin to put into your bank later. And has an order: create and deploy a bronze gank unit. There is a lot of bronze gank units, right? Also, is there... How is gang defined? As in... gang criminal organization, including Blind Eyes, Crown Splitters, Cut-Ups, Fire Swan, Salamander, and Tight Cloaks. Okay, so it just almost any bronze that is just not a human vendor and tax collector, so to say. So all your Crown Splitters, Blind Eyes, Salamandras, Cut-Ups are available. Order is of course quite random. You'll see a lot of tags you don't want, but it fills the bill for all those Sigeruin decks that got nerfed in the past like 6 months. We've seen the gank infusions, the category infusions. We've seen the Blind Eye. Oh, we've seen the, what's the name of the troll being played and tried, but in the end it was a deck with pulling drills and crimes out of the deck that got nerfed once, then got nerfed again, then the vendor lost its category, so many things happened. Well, he lost his category, now you cannot create it. And maybe that's the reason they did not revert the nerf. I guess this resilience engine is cool. It's pretty crazy, I'd say. Like, now you have a candle as a carryover spender, and you have Novigrad as a carryover like engine creating new coins, and those coins might not go unspent and might not go to waste. First of all, it buffs every card. That is, when you get a coin, boost self by 1 or like trigger something. Then with the jackpot, I guess it does something as well, right? When you gain coin, boost self by 1 is on what? On the townsfolks, for example, it's once per turn, so it doesn't really matter. And the power of this engine is just because it can be taken for 2 rounds unstopped. And the order part: create and play a bronze gank unit. Have you ever seen Dwinviandra played in Syndicate before? Well, for 10 provisions, you're gonna see it now. I'm almost certain. It's really strong if you draw it in long rounds. Round 1 or long round 2. Got 25-point ceiling and 11-point floor, even in a short round, in interactive and carryover, completely busted. So what's the worst click that can happen? Probably something like on order you get a unit like a brawler when you don't need a spender, so for 4 points. But usually you gonna create, like, you create only units, so there are no crimes, but you still create like a 5-point card out of it. But yeah, it's completely random between all the bronzes. Crown splitters, and let's put it into the unit category, and let's put it into the bronzes. So crown splitter, you have 6 target. Cut-ups, you get another 6 targets. I would assume that all of them are qualifying. Then blind eyes, you get even more. That's a lot. So you probably are not playing it as the means of getting that one exact unit. But if you are playing it for increasing presence of categories on the board, for Sigi, if you are playing it for, I don't know, Bart, whenever you play a gang category you don't control, gain coins for each unique gang category you control. Yeah, you can find ways of fitting it. Bart was somewhat playable here and there, but when you talk about Syndicate, and this is one of the biggest problems, sometimes you have like a package, okay, play every bounty in a pure bounty with Witchfinder, so play like almost all hail cards in it, you need Candle, then you need bounty activators, but if we're talking about pure SY, it's your professors, Jacques, in the recent year, Hamelfart, like, you have decks building themselves. If we are talking devotion, why wouldn't you play Junior? If you need to protect something, why wouldn't you play Azar? If meta calls for Mariel's removal, yeah, play that instead. So I'm like skipping Helvetes and Louisa's and Tatterwings. But yeah, if you need stuff for gang, for the Sigiru, and if you need stuff for your bards, you can create this. But Dwimviandres or Novigrad, I'm like, it's kind of hard to estimate how good it's gonna be. Like Novigrad on its own gonna be working, but do we really need to play Dwims and delay? Once again, you can play like a couple of cards in one turn. Combining with a random gank, it probably is not that great, but you can get some extra coins to spend from some of the profit units. But even like if we omit the order part, if it would have been like a 5-point unit instead, and it isn't, so you cannot really easily remove it. You get some coins and you get an engine value already. Yeah, 10 provisions is not cheap, but we're gonna drop something out of the cards that I mentioned, or we're just gonna polarize even more. So yeah, like you cannot run all the cards that I mentioned anyway. There is always a choice between like Jacques and Cyrus and Mariel's. Mariel's usually is going out. On its own, it's an artifact, so not a crime card that you could have tutored with something like Furco. And I don't think you're playing Avala here. So just draw your Novigrad. That would be the solution, right? Is this... Okay, so this is just mirrored image of Novigrad. I see. I was like, is it a magpie there? But magpie is probably on some ship. The free city of Novigrad is not a crime. In short round 3, it still plays for its provisions, but kind of barely. So it's not that great, but well, yeah, as you mentioned, the no unit play, you can just keep the order till the last turn, hope for a spender if you're missing one. If you have last say, yeah, you can draw like an interactive crime to combine it with. And if we're talking lone crowns, this amount of coins is pretty good, considering you still get some in the second round. So, yep, agree. Pretty cool card. How do you like the design in terms of innovation, in terms of fitting into multiple archetypes? Is it just vanilla enough to be boring, but play it everywhere? Like, it has profit, which Syndicate cards kinda need. It has some slow engine value around the coins, but you don't want it to be conditional. If you have like 3 different tags, gain a coin, right? And in terms of activating multiple archetypes, well, it helps with gangs, it helps with coins a bit. Ideally, you rely on gain 1 coin per turn because, well, townsfolk's getting buffed, you reach your hordes and you can spend, but nothing too specific pops into mind when you see a card like this. It reminds me of Flotsam, kind of boring. Yeah, they are quite random. At least Flotsam, I feel like, revolves around rivers mostly. And yeah, not the river hunters, but river scouts getting refresh of an order and getting zeal is busted, but you can use it in rivers. And you can use it in different decks. But mostly what you want is one good scout from it, and then having scout on board already helps with the order. So Flotsam is like random order units. Not a big fan. This tries to do something different. Like, is a bit slower. Flotsam is just floating on the board later, waiting for, yeah, an order unit to land. So that's Novigrad. We're probably gonna see it a lot, especially at the start, unless some, like, we don't know all the reworks, so at the current time, it's just a guessing game how much any faction gonna be changed. How much any of the existing old archetypes gonna be pushed. What I don't see is them trying to create new archetypes. Yesterday we've seen that there are no monsters, like pushes for completely new stuff, trying to tie together beasts or trying to make anything else work. It's just cards that fit potentially on multiple scenarios, but mostly like 1.5. Novigrad breaks the mold and goes into like more white variety of decks. Like Verina, I don't see being played in Ogroids, for example. Novigrad, nothing is stopping you putting it into any deck, outside of it being a 10 provision card, which you need to find the provisions to fit into your deck. Now, the second card, Madame Marqouise Serenity. Human and blind eyes. Okay, so 13 provisions, 5 power. Very expensive. If we just talked about 10 provision cards going into the deck, now you have to cough up 3 more provisions. She also plays Gwent and uses the card backs from produced by CDPR, as you can see there. So you play it as a 5-point unit and you get profit 4. That's 9 points. If you deploy it melee, you summon a Sly Seductress from your deck. So, potentially breakable if you mulligan into Sly Seductresses, especially if you're running for some reason one instead of building your deck around Seductresses, that is. But let's look at the ranged ability. Summon Passiflora Peaches from your deck to this row, and with Profit 4 you are activating Peaches immediately, the Horde thing. So that's that was 9. That's now 13. And the engine starts to work immediately. So you're basically getting your 13 plus point play on deploy here. And this is where we could have stopped already. If the tribute and whenever your opponent plays a card wasn't there, that would have been a card from like 3 years ago. Is that a fair assessment? But then there is more, because we cannot have those old 2019 to 2020 cards. We have to put more. So for only 8 coins, if you call now, you can summon both Sly Seductress and Peaches. To, I guess it still summons... Okay, so what's the phrasing? From your deck to this row. Oh, okay, it's identical. It's just that they used A between summon Sly and didn't use it between summon Passiflora. Okay, I see. For some reason, since it's not identical length, I was like, did they also use different phrasing here? So this is Tribute 8, which is expensive. You get 4 coins to use beforehand. And then you are playing 8 coins to get 4 extra points plus engine value. Kinda expensive. Almost pulls KOB out of the deck. And maybe is better if you just roll 1 engine out of your deck for free. Just take 4 coins and a unit. Okay. That's like uber overload of engines in one turn if you want to go for the tribute. But do we play Passiflora? Do we play Sly Seductresses from hand? Have you seen the Adriano in any of your games in the past 2 years? I haven't. Will it, as Dave points out, be buffed and pushed? It can happen. They don't change cards when printing new ones. This time they will. We're getting a bunch of cards changed, and I think they'll try to change as much as possible. This is their second to last attempt at finalizing Gwent and solving it. But we haven't talked about the last line. Whenever your opponent plays a card, gain 1 coin. Okay, I don't. I honestly don't like cards that say whenever your opponent tries to play the video game. I can live with the red ship. Okay, red ship, I can live with. Sly Seductress, I'm already not a big fan of. Sly Seductress's meta from like 2019? When you talk like this, Gwent engine, and then you reference something like 2019, it's not that long ago, right? It's only 4 years, but still, time flies. But I absolutely despise when they say, oh, if you play more than one card per turn, your opponent gets multiple rewards for that because you didn't interact with, like in this case, with Madame. Okay, to be fair, this is not like damage and armor that they're getting. If we're talking about you playing a tutor into a card or location and playing another unit against the red ships, it's not dry points like in case of the Slicer Doctors when you were trying to catch up playing against triple Slicer Doctors. That felt bad if you tried to tutor. This is just coins, but just coins are never just coins, so yikes. This is a card that's gonna be a problem to answer and stop because multiple threats. I like the design, although this is just like pure engine vomit. It's not a bad card to go with Passiflora archetype with Slicer Doctresses. We also probably have the greedier engines in game anyway. Like Passiflora Peaches is maximum 1 point per turn. Slicer Doctress, well, potentially more. Just points are never just points. Deep thought, yes. But I was speaking about coins, not points. Madame round 2, Passy round 3. I don't think Passy... like, use Passy ASAP would be my preference. I'm starting to think the Tribute 8 isn't that high. Now that I think about it, it's double 10. I think you'd prefer using Madame either when you're pushing or in round 3. I'd rather let go of Passiflora, because Passiflora is... I don't know. I'd rather just have an extra unit instead of playing Passy and hoping that it produces enough value. Всем здорово! Как ваше горение, мистер Mystical? Надеюсь, вы не горели. Всем привет! Мы смотрим карты синдиката. Мнение? Round 1, Tiger's Eye, and opening with Madame seems good. Ooh. Yeah, if you want to guarantee, you can do that. Isn't Syndicate plan to win round 1, push round 2, and go into a short round 3? Syndicate can take a long round 3 if we're talking about some specific archetypes. But if we're talking specifically about Hidden Cache, I don't think Hidden Cache loved the short round all that much, right? Okay, so... Passiflora. Progresses when you play a blind eye, you get the Slicer Doctress first. Well, the new card triggers it being a blind eye. Then you get Peaches, and then you get coins. I mean, this is funny. This is limited to 1 per turn value. Incredible. Remember when it wasn't an issue in Gwent that some cards were playing for even more value? Now, like, you have a horde condition, and then you buff by slowly but 1 point a turn. So slow. We need to look at the blind eyes now. Well, it would have been good if the blind eyes was covered with it, but Acherontia with Defender and on round 3 wins against almost all meta. Acherontia is strong if you have enough coins and spender, so you are putting yourself into an awkward position of being short of the material to realize all of this. If we are talking candle and buffing 1 unit because you don't have many units, you are putting yourself into a danger of toll punish. Flanking peaches. Ah, Lerio, you are onto something. They need to... Yeah, okay, there we go. People want mechanics to be spread out. Yes, that's what we are going for. Flanking peaches. Maybe Lirio has the inside information already. Also, nice analysis. I enjoyed reading through it. Nice reveal format. Much appreciated. You mentioned that some of the ideas are coming straight from Legion, so I still expect that a lot of that input was from you though, and yeah, it's always appreciated. But okay, so blind eyes, urchins, okay, you can create that with the Novigrad card. It's a trigger. Blind eye apothecary, tribute 2, combine the healing and boosting. How is this card not played even more than like 0? I'm not 0% usage, I'm not sure. Set times. It's okay, yeah, that's what I mean, like, but there, like, you cannot spend 4 provisions on non-spender. Can you call it a mediocre effect? It's great if you have something to heal, even for 2 points. It would be 8 for 4. Okay, but there is like, yeah. There is just no space for this in Syndicate. For cards like this in most Syndicate decks anyway. Fishek Trafficker, so you can combine passive with poisons. We have beggars, not that relevant. Most likely. Then peaches that deserve flanking. Now I'm sold on this idea. It didn't take much for me to... This is what new Gwent reality is. I'm afraid that freaking peaches will be just underperforming against the greedier stuff. I think it was Reed Raymond, one of the Discords, mentioning as well that PASSIFLORA's problem might be just playing cards onto your side of the board and then playing more cards that like try to greed, but at the same time reading through it, it's limited bullshit. Okay, then we have payroll specialist, move unit for 1 coin. Yeah, very good. Courier, line of credit, slice seductors. Okay, let's recheck this card. Fee 3, gain a shield. Whenever your opponent plays a unit, boost self by 1. If bonded, then all the specials, all the locations are also triggering that, so you can double and triple deep on some cards. Or on some opponent's plays. How bait is it to run sliced actresses nowadays? Like, everyone seemed to like the Madame play on range row more than the on melee or with play in tribute. Then we have Rico, Kalkstein. I'm just looking through passive triggers, and then yeah, we come to this card. So this is another sliced actress onto your board for only 5 for like 3 coins, if we're talking about the difference between profit and tribute. So you play 8 for 8. If you spend 5, you get 10 points on board. He doesn't have any additional value on self. So after it's played, only sliced actress matters. If it was printed today, it probably will also get some passive engine value, wouldn't it? Or some passive ability. Or weird order. But yeah, if we're talking about syndicate decks and polarization and whatnot, like 8 provisions for this, while there is a jury out on the sliced actresses potential to begin with, is a lot of provisions, especially if we need to fit freaking Novigrad and Madame Serenity. That's like 23 provisions gone. 23. Not here anymore. And then you're like, but sir, I want to play Adriano the Mink because I like an army of sliced actresses on the board. No, there is no space for this. Just no. And then there is a discard as well. Well, if you played Gwent in 2019, you played against Madame Louise. You probably played Madame Louise yourself. Gain Zeal for 3 coins. You can use it to activate your Tribute 8 on another Madame. Mm-hmm. 9 provisions. Only intimidate in terms of card payoff, but yeah, you can pay 3 coins and then your next tribute costs 0. Is it worth it to play this to activate something that is putting engines on board? Or would you rather just play engines on board 1 turn earlier and not bother with Madame Louise? Because let's be honest, this Intimidate in passive deck, it's not gonna work out too many times. Louise, 7 power waiting room. Is it worth it as 7 for 9 to be played nowadays? There is King of Beggars. Just pay the goddamn man and get your coins back. And don't think about those free tributes and bullshit. Francis Bedlam, always got you back, or maybe got your hand when you mulligan and you get him in your hand, but you know, counter 12 is decent. I feel power capped. Savola was considered busted back then. It was. It potentially still would have been. Savola. You get a 12-point unit with a freaking armor, so not that easy to damage. So good. The problem is you kind of need to spend your entire coin back. And now it's it was cool. Like, you don't need a spender, you just get enough points for this last 18-point play. But now between candles and whatnot, you don't really struggle with your finishers and spreading your money, and if you have a profit card in the end, you probably still plan so that you can spend it all and get the similar amount. How would you buff Savola in today's day and age? How is Savola clawing its way back to the meta? Does he even need a buff? Well, he's outclassed by the other cards, so he needs something to push in front of Jacques and professors and juniors. Like, there is no space for him in the current reality, so we need to change the reality so that Savola finds its way into any of the decks. Look, people are very happy playing Patricidal Fury Soul Finisher, right? Savola is similar to that. In terms of, oh, I'll just play points on my side of the board. Good luck catching up. Of course, Soul is immune, but Arnjolf is your target. For 12, 13 points, it doesn't really matter. He will be one of the first to get nerfed. Yeah, that's... did we get all... We didn't get all the news about that system, because I would assume that project's still trying to perfect it. And it will roll out in a couple... What is it? In a month? This is September patch, October. No, I guess we are doing the community patching in November, right? I can see so, but is it easy to like nerf Soul immediately? Does one provision matter? His base power is big enough. I'm afraid that nerfing him to 11 won't do all that much. You are not doing anything with Patricidal Fury. But yeah, Savola is similar. But there is no leader to point slam him with. And it's not seen play. Like Soul, everyone is ready to slam it for 12 provisions because immunity is pretty great. But once again, I say to you that... Okay, we cannot. But if we're talking about the full Soul play with Patricidal Fury, it produces the even taller body on the board. Arnulf is what, 13 points and plays for -4 points on the board because of the sirens. This is just 18. So yeah, not exactly comparable, but cheaper. But you'd rather just play a more expensive, more powerful combo. So something needs to be done with Saul. I'm not sure, like, is Profit 4? Am I the only one who cannot see the video? Well, it shows up for me. Hello, hello. Yeah. I can see the video on my side, well, in the dashboard. Hi, Bird Maker. How are you liking the SY reveals? What's the quality? 1080? Maybe lower the quality? But yeah, seems to be fine on my side. So, for those of you who wanted Ada, looking at you, Alice, you got your Ada Marqouise Serenity. Lul Pops and his edits, always great. Now, why is this happening? Misclicking and all. Boop, boop, boop. So, yeah, those are the two cards. Novigrad probably goes on the first week into every deck. Black screen. Okay, trying to open the Twitch. Error. Okay, I'm getting error now myself. Is the sound going through? So I guess don't refresh. But yeah, error 2000. Error 2000 is live. Interesting. I guess if you are in, you are not supposed to refresh. That's not ideal. Can I watch anyone else stream? Let's see. Yeah, I guess it's Twitch. I see on Rikov stream Observer. And I can find some cards, but I cannot see. I'm just seeing the cards for the first time. Okay. So yeah, I cannot open Rikov stream. It works, but it doesn't load. What if I lower the quality? For some reason I don't see the quality options. Oh, Twitch, what are you doing? Pokemon Go category. Okay. I guess we'll take it. Is the sound going through? So yeah, don't refresh. Don't refresh, Twitch that. I guess, yeah, that can be typed into chat for those. At least, yeah, Bury the Maker also didn't refresh, so we have a couple of people who can watch with the sound and with the video feed, which is nice. I'm sorry for your experience. Hopefully Twitch solves the issue. Yeah, so we are finishing talking about the cards themselves. Novigrad, probably pretty great for 10 provisions. You should find the room. This requires you more provision shifting. Looks good, not too OP, solid card. I just hope somebody doesn't find a way to exploit it with Dwimviandres. It feels too random to be reliable, so the order is a nice addition to the engine value of the card and the profit that you are getting, but hopefully it doesn't break anything else. And yeah, this card is more expensive, but triple engine threat potentially. You get some coins. You don't have to use it as a triple engine. You can just pull 2 and keep your money. I don't like the part where it says when your opponent plays a card, because we are here to play the cards. Realistically 16 of them per game. It's expensive, as it costs 13 provisions, but you are getting your points back on deploy already. And you have 2 or 3 engines on the board and some coins to play with. And if your opponent doesn't answer it, you are swimming in coins, because they will be giving you them, and like they have 2 engines to answer. I think it's pretty good, but it's expensive to fit, so you have to cut like Hamelfart, Jacques or something out of your deck. And this is not a spender, so you still need to think about like spending your coins, but I guess Candle is everywhere, so just don't get your Candle turned into a bear. Let me recheck how the Twitch is doing. Nope. Observer is working, but video doesn't come up. So yeah, those are 2 cards. Now, yesterday after this segment, we managed to spend 3 hours in the deck builder, just looking through all the monster cards. If you haven't been here yesterday, and if you have 4 hours to kill, well, you know, it's up on YouTube for no good reason, but definitely go and check it out. We just scrolled through every monster card without a straight up plan of compiling a list, and the bad cards were already known in Wyvern and in Cockatrice, so I'm not sure what did we achieve, but I had a great time and enjoyed the stream massively, so cannot be complaining about that. So do I want to do that with the Syndicate? Can we speed up? I remember Redray making a review. It was like an endless stream, and yeah, I'm not sure the man was happy with the result as well. So can we somehow skip Syndicate? I feel like it's easier to do because you just look at like Fallen Ryla. It's just too needy for your attention, as a card has too much going on for it, so you'd better just play Jacques. Okay, so we solved the problem. You want to play Fallen Ryla, you play Jacques. In 3rd form it has Whale, so it basically mirrors that. Let's look. Count Ruben's treasure. A card is getting played, like Captain was running it. Alive? Oh, nice. Спасибо. Let me check as well. Okay, yep. F5. So we are live. Hopefully it will just resurrect itself. Treasure is underrated. It's a bit awkward on the crime part, I would assume. On the deploy part could have been a bit better. But if Kerpeton decides that it's like playable, I guess it was given a fair shot, at least by some like pro players. Well, then Trasky is trying to play a Ruchin. It doesn't mean that every like pro move should be considered in a light of the cis play. But yeah, the card is not that bad. Underrated. I mean, it's like 20 for 11, not a bad card. Yep, potential is there. It probably could have been made into a 13 provision card that is like worthy of either building around if we change some details, or just auto including it into every deck. But even as is, like you get your deploy and then you get your coins slowly, and it has resilience. So well, if you find it, do we listen into? Okay, I see. You can go for a seed song. Okay, so we mirror this. Can we mirror? It's not that bad, so you have to replace it with KOB. Then we have Bessie and Yago. Well, if you haven't seen the Yago clip, let me recommend you a video or channel to watch. This is probably the best Yago you'll ever see. Or maybe not. But check out that channel for the Gwent memes. This is what Gwent Busters were meant to be, but I never had the dedication to make all the clips happen, so it's nice to see that Twitch stopped being... Is it down again? Починили же. It was working. No, yeah. It works now on my side, on other people's stream. But I guess it's not back for everyone. Not down, but skipped a few times, for me at least. I see. Well, yeah, I just checked if I can boot up another person's stream, and it was open in areas, so seemed to be back. And Chloe Needs also mentioned that it's back, but well, hopefully it revitalizes itself. Okay, so what else? We're just gonna look at the cards that do not see play. Passive we cannot touch because they're probably either buffing it, or the current support that is coming is deemed to be like reasonable enough. In Search of Forgotten Treasures with Gudrun, on paper the card is insane, never really reached wide masses. and never really succeeded. You have your hordes, you can lower your hordes by the other cards. It runs as a damage generator on chapter 2. Or like single damage. It shows me that every possible broadcast has ended. I don't know if you want this card to be good. It's so strong if it sticks in a long count. Yeah, but you kind of want it to be playable in some iteration. People are just ignoring it because everyone tried to make it work. And you need to find a specific matchup, most likely. You need your Flinders crew and whatnots stick in. Would one provision do anything? Are you talking about passive? Or, well, now you're talking about both, I guess. I'd prefer to buff hidden cache elsewhere. I see. But I'm not sure, like, if passive... We don't know how many chart changes they are making in total. We don't know how the changes are split between the factions. We don't know if maybe for some insane reason they just gonna make all the neutrals that see no play good again, and then this is like Homecoming 3.0. Yeah, здорово, центр Твичу очень плохо. Он не показывает стримы, не показывает картинку. You are really putting a lot of faith in them to do stuff? Well, we know that they are releasing 12 cards and they are reworking a lot of cards in this patch. I'm getting my ass kicked in Prince Maneuver Shub deck. I followed your YouTube video, but I'm losing. Pincer Maneuver Shub deck. You mean the Erland one? Well, it's been kind of popular for, what, 6 months now? Hello, Resonator. And sorry I didn't reply to your first message. The Twitch was kind of funky, so I was trying to find out if it's working. In Erland deck, you definitely... Who said they're gonna rework a lot of cards? Well, it was kind of mentioned on one of Discords, and I think they mentioned that in the dev update video. Yeah, this deck is very popular. I'm not sure if any changes have been made in the recent season to it, but people are still playing some iteration of it. It's the nature of the deck to get your ass kicked, high liquid. I feel like nowadays there is at least 10 different NR decks somebody had success with, and there is no single opinion which is the best one. And I haven't played the pure, like, I played Cordis Shield Wall, I played some Golden Necker versions. Erland is here. Ah, okay, so... I guess you can try this version instead. I'm not sure, once again. You can probably check what people brought to the tournament somewhere and see if it is different, but there is an Iris and Iris Companion combo that you can run for even bigger Erland nowadays. I think the guide you used wasn't running it. But okay, so regarding the changes and whatnot, there is only 2 months left for projects to solve some of the issues, to solve some of the cards. I think we see the pattern of them, yeah, with legendaries trying to either buff the existing archetypes, like the Passiflora card, the Madame that we got, or alternatively Novigrad that should fit the bill for any faction or for any deck, any archetype. So yeah, I'd expect that we won't see a new card that makes, like, I don't know, a Nilfgaard Beast deck. That ain't happening. Even if we have like Menagerie, well, Menagerie Keeper. What do you think about Hunger being reverted back to 3 charges? Well, they'll need to first fix Dagon bug if we are doing anything with Hunger. I loved Hunger at 3 charges. I played a lot, but I didn't really care much about the deck. It kind of fucked up my overwhelming Hunger Plague Maiden deck. It was kind of lacking that third consume, so things get awkward if you have to burn through your leader and you don't have like a consume for a short round. Regarding Gort, I'd want a seamless capped, and then you can uncap Gort, yeah. Let's go. I'll give you uncap on Gort if you allow me to cap seamless to like 3 copies or something. Please, I beg ya. I'm not a fan of seamless in any deck. Okay, so back to the SY. Yeah, I'm not, like, the card is complex and very powerful on paper. Maybe it's better that it's in that it's kind of forgotten now, and if you really want to play it, you can do that. It's hard to get full payoff in a long round. It's bleedable. It made sense before, but for power creep might get on cap Gort. Would improve SY. What about Yaga? Did it ever see play? It's a bit clowny. So people added it for this mostly YouTube clips. But yeah, we covered monsters yesterday. I don't want Yaga to be buffed, is the gist of it. It's too swingy, and if it doesn't land, well, someone mentioned that there are now NR decks that do not even run for provision cards outside of the Blaviken. Yeah, not a big fan. Not a successful design in my opinion as well. Those risky 1-point units, like Tatterwing at 1 point, is very good because you build a deck around that. Cleaver at 1 point is pretty good because you have the deploy unless you're playing him into a red ship. Yaga at 1 point, well, you gain your zeal, but it's an older unit, and breakable, because in a short round you might get no 4 provision unit. Like sometimes in a long round you can just consume yours to activate it for 5. But then we're talking about the insane point swings for no reason with this card. Alright, so not sure how to deal with that. This is fine. Fallen Ryla is it's too complicated to like, and not worth it. You can play simpler card. Like, it's not complex in terms of like, oh yeah, you play a Veiled Prophet card. When tribute 3, you can remove poison from a light unit and boost by self by 5. Like, sure, there are some extra points. And then you have counter 2 on the poisons. And you have the like tribute turn fee. So you can just remove your poisons and buff self, so you go tall. It's just, why would you ever do that? Because she's eating removal regardless? Yeah, like, why would you do all those tricks to get removed in the end? Like, sure, you get 3 coins and you get a couple of enemy units poisoned. But it never really fit any deck to be worth running. Sure, you can combine a couple of poisons if this doesn't get answered, but if we're talking about her just on deploy, it's 9, you skip the tribute, and if she's answered immediately, which is not the easiest way to do 6 power with Whale, but doable. Wasn't it combined with Salamandra that would board wipe you? Yeah, it could, but if your Salamandra is going off already, Roland is enough. You need consistency in that deck. Why would you like spend 12 provisions on this to combine with? Здорово, Треф. У тебя стрим нормально работает? А то тут у людей отключалось, подключалось. Надеюсь, сейчас более активный чат стал. Ну, точнее, чат и был активный. Люди просто писали, что картинка черная и ничего нету. Порядок? Окей. Good. Как тебе новые картищи синдиката? So, yeah, I don't know, like, there is just no deck for this, and I'm not sure you can make it an easy fix for the card. Like, do you just make tribute cheaper? Do you make buff more? Do you make it so that it doesn't boost self, but boosts the unit you remove the poison from? Не знаешь, как мадам втиснуть? Ну, да. 13 провок дорого, но карта играет на своей провизии сразу же, так что, наверное, что-то можно будет. Should be good at 10. That's fun. It's always funny when the cards get released and then you're like, in the current meta, it can be like 2 provisions cheaper. Or in case with Renfrey, how many times did they nerf Renfrey? As a 6 profit, as a 6 profit 3 that threatens 2 poisons. The tribute is trap. Okay, so for 10 provisions, you're playing it as a 9 with a double poison. And then if the counter reaches 0, you also get a fee, which potentially makes it like a spender. But how many self-poisons do you remove anyway? Drill also got nerfed and still almost auto-include. I like the drill feels fair now. Remember when it could just... I don't want to go back in times where the bounty was just applicable for multiple units. And then you can just play a drill or like pay off for all the bounties and evaporate the entire opponent's side of the board. Yeah, but it also got nerfed after that, right? It was reworked with the crime, but also got touched. Either points or provisions. Something changed on it, right? So anyway, yeah, you can probably duck a couple of provisions on Fallen Ryla. Let's call it balancing. Yeah, it's a long process of balancing some of the cards. As I mentioned, rent-free. Like, starting with power and provisions, ending up with like some of the abilities being unreasonably good. And well, the card still sees play, which is good. We want playable cards. So yeah, number 1, number 2. This is already kinda addressed with the new card release. Goes onto the list of cards. Both of them probably just getting provision or power change. Don't need to completely rework them. Double poison threat is scary. Playable. Yago. What are we doing with Yago? I just linked you guys a clip. But what are we doing with Yago? Gain as many coins as you spend this turn. Well, the recipe for a jackpot, but jackpot not that good nowadays after being prevalent for a long time and getting nerfed into the ground. Either jackpot itself or the cards around it. Probably just needs some adjustment on point. Like, it already is cheaper than it was released. So we can boost above Caesar to buff jackpot. What I mean, yeah, maybe Yago is fine-ish. Like, we don't want him to go to 8-9 power. Even cheaper, probably knee. Doesn't like it doesn't need the profit because he gains coins you spend, so it wouldn't be, well, jackpot of course, but it won't be logical to add. Bassi is like Casimir Passy is playing Casimir Bassi, so you can run it. Maybe you don't want to every time spend all your coins on deploy. Who knows? But card is somewhere there that where community can make it playable, no need to touch it. Как же ты проигнорил меня по Новиграду? Сегодня был холивар в чатике по Новиграду. Я доказывал, что карта под бухту Сиги имба. У карты точно имба, потому что 10 провизий, 3 монеты, 4 монеты сразу же в первый же ход, и через ход ты получишь 5. Так что ты 9 сыграешь за 10 поинтов. И потом этот движок будет двигать тебя в течение 2 раундов. Так что я думаю, что карта идет в большинство колод. Только вот что выкидывать в синдикате, какой синдикат играть, для этого надо посмотреть, как много карт они изменят. Но да, пока что я вижу ее в добавление, может быть, не только там в бухту, но и в другие колоды. И мы не знаем, насколько они решат бустануть пассифлору, если движки, например, лучше еще сделают. Лерио предложил лучший вариант. Кидаешь этот обход на пассифлору, на юниты с пассифлоры, и имба получается. Пассифлора Пич идет в обход и бафает себя на 2. So, okay, I'm fine with Siggy, I'm fine with Teen Boy. It's expensive, but once again, if we really need Teen Boy to be better, make it 5 points. Community can do that. Ulrich and Fallen Knights have completely disappeared. Can we do something for it? Do we want to? Like, you can always solve Syndicate card by slapping some profit onto it. It already has Intimidated place 2 units in 1 turn, so potential is there. Its devotion is it's there. But yeah, the time 3 years has passed since the Firesworn was a deck, so probably needs something to be interesting again. Oh, like 11 provisions. It doesn't go into your regular Syndicate decks nowadays. Yeah. Tatterwing doesn't really fit Syndicate that much. You can play your crime decks, but if Cleaver, Fine, Bank, everybody hates. You cannot make it a crime deck. Kinda expensive for compared to Adalia. It has Intimidate value. It has the Devotion boost by 2, but Shield from Adalia is sometimes more important. Like, it just lacks. Oh, there is an archetype for this card with Fallen Knights and all this with DSRI, but it's just much worse than everything else Syndicate has to offer. At least when people tried playing it. There might have been coincidence with, I don't know, rain buffs and whatnot when the last time people decided, oh, I'll play full Firesworn deck. I never full Firesworn deck is just playing your cheaper cards instead of like slapping 11 Provision Ulrich and Fallen Knights. So Bank Profit 4, amazing. Not a Profit 3. Justice. Well, Justice Bank, you can consider making them playable in Golden Necker. Justice had its like long period of time when the card was in every Square deck, and in Syndicate quite often it was played. Well, they solved that issue. The card says no play nowadays. Or almost no play. Well, enough stream is probably the most you can see the Novigrad Justice in action. If you control a dwarf, also spawn a muscle. Play a dwarf or ground splitter from your deck. You cannot even say that condition is just too much. Oh wait, we streamed for more than 2 hours and we got our first follower. Lascaris, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Or was it? Nah, Yamich also followed at the beginning of the stream. We got 2 raids and 2 follows. Great. Nice to have you all here. Much appreciated. Hope you all are excited for the expansion, but saying that is weird knowing that this is the last expansion. So playable Scoundrel, playable Helvete has its specific use in the Firesworn Lonely Champion deck. Goes into the Ulrich pile. So if we're making this deck playable and we see that new cards do not try to help them, then the cards go into this SY deck. If the Firesworn is not playable, then, well, they are just fillers and deck builder, while the... Where is the dude? Do I have some filter off? No. Yeah, the Cyrus is just abandoning his friends or colleagues and goes into another type of deck. Those are just chilling. Junior Fine Philippa. So busted, everyone forgot she existed, although I think I've seen Danny Rai run it. Collusion, well, remember when they made the deck playable and then it kinda stopped seeing play. I remember. That is 9 provisions. You can run it. The DSRI goes into that pile. There is something systematic needs to be done with it. Ignatius, good. Louisa, we talked about. Just play KOB. Maybe they'll rework it. I can see that, actually. Since we are getting changes or additions to passive deck, maybe they just decide to rework Madame Louisa. Card was dead for 3 years. Card is fitting with the new Madame, so maybe a rework is in order. Do we need a card that does something for each Slice Seductress or Passiflora Peaches you control? You know, like Voimir and Hunat is buffing, or Afan buffs every armored soldier. Maybe Madame Louisa can do something for, like, Seductresses and Peaches and whatnot. Is there anything else? Don't think so. All the other cards are separate. Eager should stay as is, most likely. You can dock like 1 fee. Nah, you cannot. If her Intimidate was increased for each Seductress Peach you controlled. Oh yeah, something like that if we don't change everything about the card. I was thinking maybe on Deploy or as an Oriana passive, but yeah, you can also have that float in. The number on Intimidate. Iger is too dangerous to get back to original. Yeah, I think it stays more or less as is, otherwise it's problematic. Что обсуждаете? Мы вчера смотрели 3,5 часа, 4 часа карты монстров, которые стоило бы изменить, или как бы ревьюшка такая перед патчем. Она довольно-таки бесполезная, но мне нравится. В монстрах понятно было, что там есть Виверна и вторая бронза, я не знаю, как она на русский. Кокатрис переведена. Да, сейчас не приходит в голову. Понятно, что те карты надо менять, бронзы. Можно совсем реворкать, потому что они бесполезны. Если они хотят к началу Gwentfinity сделать каждую карту играбельной, что невозможно. И, ну, понятно, что у монстров можно обсуждать долго шабаш и арахну, надо ли их менять. Do you remember DJ Iger Townsfolk bullshit? Yeah. I mentioned it yesterday. Early Homecoming. Okay, that was already not early Homecoming. The Syndicate was released like 6 months or whatever after the Homecoming. So I started playing more. So DJ Iger Townsfolk I've seen a lot of. But those were not the best months of Gwent for me. This was my greatest creation. Very, very cool. Why would you? Чтобы просто прикрутить Doom как новым динамиком и сценарием. Ну, да, то есть обсуждать можно с той точки зрения, что, ну, полнейшая карта, полнейший абуз, что Арахна, что Шабаш. С другой стороны, они сделали монстров более играбельными, потому что, ну, абуз абузом, но иногда, например, колода Труски с идрами, как бы, ну, довольно-таки прикольно. Но, да, с другой стороны, если мы еще и разрешаем полнейший абуз, против которого неприятно играть, когда шабуш переигрывается несколько раз, например, то, может быть, такое решение подошло бы. Просто добавить, да, обреченность карте, чтобы сыграла, она сразу пропала. I played Tiger when patch hit, and before patch was released, I immediately knew how bullshit it was when patch went live. Катать не будем. Мы скатали пару каток на Рюхине. Что по времени? И что по картам? Ну, вчера мы застряли в декбилдере. С Синдикатом, мне кажется, сейчас пойдет чуть-чуть побыстрее, так что мы еще на Рюхине скатаем. Через минуток 15. Hey, so where did we stop? Iger, we don't want. Sucrose, very good Syndicate card. See it all the time in this faction. If man, those double faction cards were not very successful. Could be reworked, honestly. The experiment with double faction cards kinda failed. They never did more cards. I think they mentioned immediately that they do not plan. Also recognize, you cannot see, but yeah, can you see the dude on the background? Do you know who that is? Just the lore check. So yeah, card is mostly useless. Yeah, it is SY. Prevent unit. Like, it can be just removed from SY, but so be it. He's in the deck builder. I guess you can do something with the spenders that damage self. But yeah, but that was patched, or maybe it didn't work immediately. What was the one? I didn't think about BJF. It's not in Draga. What's your name? The useless creature. But it's limited 1 per turn. Does that work? No. I guess it doesn't really work as well. So yeah, it just doesn't really need to be here. But we are not, like, leave it to Skellige, let them be. Savola, we talked about. It's lacking something compared to the, like, yeah. The new reality is solve points. This is just not cutting it. Imke unanswered with the shield is very good, but needs specific condition. So the time has passed and Imke did not adjust to the new reality. You cannot really make a profit more than 2, right? Or the engine value. Can you lower the shield cost? Does that help? Probably. But I have flashbacks of playing against Imkes and Saul, so... And there is Bincy, who Sunvanter plays in this day and age. Imke is basically 9 provision Marine. I guess utility of having 2 coins instead of 2 points is at times more flexible. But yeah, as soon as we got 2 points per turn bronzes and the mold was broken, cards like Imke became useless. Like PASSIFLORA Peaches are outclassed by the Nilfgaard bronzes once again, and not only Nilfgaard bronzes. And there is a reason for that. So yeah, you can make the shield fee lower if you want to have that at all. Like, you can make a 6 power. But once again, it's Syndicate. Why the hell will you play Imkes instead of Defenders if you are playing Abuse? Or why would you run those like cards that are not greedy enough? Like, compare it to the Poison Duo brothers. They are kind of better than just passive answerable 2 points per turn. 8 power, 6 power, 8 provisions, double buffs. It's very hard to have a video game with this amount of cards and just to try and solve it all immediately. They needed to make take broader swings before. Isn't R any good? Now I haven't played in forever. Hi Sigil. Yes, NR is very strong in having like probably 10 different playable builds that you need to figure out which one fits to your liking the most, but it mostly is revolving around Temple and Mutagenerator. You play those 2 cards, you are already set. What archetype? Well, I might not have the decks available. Easiest way is probably just to link here the tournament page. Where is it? Yeah. So we had top 64 qualifiers. I'll leave you with this link. And well, who won the qualies? The thief who is not a thief was playing this, for example. So yeah, Erland as a potential deck. Who took the second slot? Sunwanter took one, and the second was question mark. I also think yeah, this is a day one decks, so not all of them are represented, but this is one of the possibilities, and you can check out the decks in top 64 quarters. We need to start zooming through the cards. So Imke, outdated card, Sausage Maker. People come every couple of months and mention that they're playing Sausage Maker in their decks. I think you don't really need to change him. The ability is kind of fun, not gonna lie. But yeah, once again, those slots when you can just polarize and play the good shit like this. Why would you play those weird cards? Like, community can buff him by provisions, by power. I'm very sad we cannot interact with those numbers, but that was like from the Dreamland. Defender is fine, Morils when necessary is fine, but mostly shit. Probably could go to like 8 provisions, but when the meta calls for it to answer something tall and greedy, you can run it, so it's fine as is. Bincy is being played by like the ladder top 1, so top 10 play, at least 1 or 2 of those players, so very nice opener with like the Tiger's Eye. Needs a roll lock, otherwise it's a bit too crazy. Bensi will see. Play with new location. Yeah, like we mentioned the townsfolk and Bincy while looking at it for the first time. Like the location activates some other stuff, or at least gives them 1, 2, 3, 5 extra points. Why wouldn't you run it? Now, okay, let's be realistic. Bincy is only played by Sunlanter at the moment, so will she see much play? Maybe the new Novigrad location will be that last push. Graydon, Bounty. Bounty is like fine. It has all the components. Sometimes meta is not fitting, but Bounty, Golden Necker, non-Golden Necker one has enough cards to be like an archetype that doesn't really need a completely work to anything outside of what his provision costs. At the moment, the Odd Brother. If we're talking about like pure bounty, and Tamara, well, the Witcher Hunters is bounty basically. It's also having a shit stat line. Where did we stop? So yeah, bounty stuff not worth talking about. With the passive buff, we might see the Horde making a comeback, Flying Redanian. I think Maimon is playing it occasionally in all the various decks. Salamander, I don't want to buff it. Yeah, Maimon plays it occasionally in some of his decks. Other than that, maybe some Imagawa decks are running it. But yeah, card is abandoned for sometimes good reasons, but yeah, once again, 9p. Better stuff probably exists if you just go higher and just play worse bronzes. Sacred Flame goes to the bin with Ulrich and Helvit. The archetype just didn't stand the test of time. Hideout, fine. Doedric, another brilliant card. At least seen some play in Nilfgaard. Why is it in Syndicate? I guess it improves your draws, but yeah. A weird failure of doubles faction cards. Those should have been neutrals, revolving around purifies most likely, and then having the secondary ability. This kind of fits the bill of it, but yeah, I don't know. Like the cycling of the deck for a faction that lacks good tutoring for devotion, well, might have been solved by Doldrick, but it wasn't. Prophet Libioda, another double faction card. Hello, Prophet Libioda. Nobody ever played you and SY seriously. Eavesdrop feels better than Doldrick. Anything like Breaking Devotion feels better than Doldrick. Let's be honest. At least for Nilfgaard, there was like a deck for it. Or a game plan. For Syndicate, it was literally just trying to fix your hand. And then you don't find Doldrick and what? Playing him as a finisher for 8 points. So your final round hand is Doldrick, Prophet Libioda, and something. Amazing. Ixora, I don't know. I have my thoughts on Ixora. I think it's a bit fucked up that the card can go into a short round combined with Candle and just erase basically everything while you have like an active spender, and between Candle and Defender and whatnot in the short run, like, I don't know, should it like damage by half and do something, destroying the lowest power unit? Like, I've watched some, I haven't played much of it myself. Well, okay, I finished placement in one season, but I watched some streams, and either way it goes for the streamer or for the opponent, when Ixora just kills, say, the Cintrian Royal Guards in a short round, it feels a bit too punishing with the like complete destruction. I understand that that's the strategy for the deck, so you got yourself into that situation, but honestly, like, I would understand if we had Gwent, the Witcher card game, where there was always like 1, 2, 3 powered units, and the taller stuff was never reached. But that's not what Gwent is. And quite often we don't run the Fulvis and Ferkos. So super punishing in a short round if you only rely on tall units. I don't know. Not a big fan. Like, the card is powerful. Acherontia was also powerful, but I have my issue with this design-wise. Hammond, well, it's a 7 power unit. You can increase the amount of bleeding. At the moment, movement is kinda It can't fit into like many decks if necessary, but today is not the day for him. Look at this beast being human, cultist, pirate, tight cloaks. So many attacks, and nobody plays him. But he was played a lot, and he can be played if Beansies of this world are coming back. Like at the moment, what are you even moving? Occasional red ship in a mirror where you don't really care about being damaged half of the time. If you could play against Sanvanter, you're moving Bincy, I guess. Sanvanter OP. But yeah, people are running Scout in the Shub decks because you need filler slots there. Mostly, my Think card is fine, but its function is not required at the moment. Like, I wouldn't change him to 8 power, I wouldn't really lower its provision. Because it's power. And the ability to get like a couple of points from Blade in. Senior finds its way into the meta occasionally. People like pitching Senior to their SY deck here and there. Like with full series and whatnot. I can live with Senior being 6 for 8 with its ability. You can lower tribute to 2, maybe. But it's basically fine. Like, I think Hammond is fine as well. Like, you don't need to. It's just that people do not have space for them and do not have reason half of the time. Like, Minka is actively bad. 6 for 8 with 2 coins, but you need to spend 5 to get an engine, and the card on its own is not doing anything anymore. This is still Intimidate. It produces another, like, potentially 2 engines. So you have the engines overloading the board, but it requires setup and point-wise, well, ideally you transform once into 4, so for 3 coins you get like 12 points on board in ideal scenario. But yeah, Adriano we covered. It's the entire Passiflora archetype not living up to the standards of the newer releases. Bart I hope to see played. Also, this is why we're doing it apparently. Bart, brain hurt, think much. Okay, then we have Caleb Menge, which is all right. Boris change was pretty good. I like it. I'm not the biggest fan of this between 1 and 9. Yeah. I wonder what a better solution looks like on it. You might have never seen this card. Tyr Anti-Lydia. This is a prime example of like just rework the card. It never worked out. I'm baffled it never... Yeah, they're inservible, invincible, irresponsible, irrelevant. Is like you don't need 3 words. Why use many words when 1 word is in one, like, yeah, not few. 1 word is enough. Irrelevant is what they are. They're fucking roll locked. They have a condition on their damage. Increased damage. It's pathetic. They don't even have zeal. I understand that like 3 years passed since they were released, and I thought they were going to get reworked when Forgotten Treasures came out. I thought, well, at one time I forgot about them, but when we were discussing patches, when I streamed more, like, I was expecting this to get some sort of buff every time. It never came. I guess they changed it a bit. Gwent. The card was okay. It was changed in 2019 the last time. It had Profit 1, Horde 6, Cooldown 1, Reach 2 at one point. Not here. Then Reach was removed. And then Horde was lowered and Profit was removed. So Profit 1, Damage 1, Damage 2, Horde 6. I guess this goes to YouTube tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a double upload. Gameplay with Ruhin and then this bit. How much in terms of view did it gain? 400 views. Well, yeah. I kind of expected it to be even lower, so it's fine. It's sad that they never been playable. Yeah, card is irrelevant. So please just don't keep the same ability. Just rework it. Freak Show is bound. Caesar, well, this is a card that was Jackpot's favorite son, but yeah, trigger the profitability of adjacent units. With the Sigi and something and Jackpot's leader ability, it's pretty damn powerful, and it can act as a spender. What was its journey? Bills. Not much of a journey. 8 provisions, 4 power, fee 3, boost by 2. Yeah, we're still in a short discussion. So the only thing changing was the fee cost, because this was kind of stupid. Play 3 to boost by 2. Like, it's cheap enough. It's still devastating if your opponent is not locking Sigi and you play Jackpot and the deck is actually good. It could be 5 power, it could be 7 provisions. It shouldn't spend better than 1-to-1 for what it does. The spending is just a secondary part. I'm not even sure it needs a buff, but well, the Jackpot was nerfed again and again, so something needs to be reverted. Runestone, never liked it. They should have just made a Syndicate Runestone or like analogous card that is not a unit. But yeah, I played it, I rallied for this to be played by like iTurn when he was streaming. Yeah, Runestone, what is there to say? A bit of RNG's take the wheel. We'll see the same with Novigrad now. Too many options, too many shitty options with Andragas and whatnot. Syndicate specials is the reason I don't like playing Aguara and okay, Uma is Aguara and those create a random special because, well, the crimes should have been like a separate category from the specials. Maybe I play Rune Mage. They have Novigrad, Vendor, Plunder. Yeah, people complain a lot about the Plunder not giving them the spender they wanted. Rune Mage... But once again, there is just no... like... There is no spot... you sacrifice in a very good card to play a Rune Mage. Instead, you can just complain that the deck doesn't work and the game doesn't like you and doesn't give you that one perfect option instead of increasing your own chances. But when your opponents do not run Rune Mage, it's understandable that you are not running it as well, because it's better to high roll. Thoughts on this? I know that Mayamon played it when everyone like forgot to put the deck into their deck for three straight years. Like, he gave it a shot. He even like, I think, won some with it and got good results. Those times where once again it's boosted by 2, comparable to some bronzes nowadays for 5 provisions and for like 4 provisions. Outdated as Imke is, but you cannot increase the boost value. You can make it fee 3 to restart or something, but the stat line is fine. Another beast lost it, and here goes that man. Very well played, Dave. That's why you returned. You were like, he will be back to, or he'll reach that card in an hour, so I'll make the comeback. Very nice timing. I upload you. Maybe low. Yeah, I think the only thing you can do is lower the fee. It's a good card, just not an SY. Well, there were times where SY could rely on cards like this and then just Luisa Savola. 7p would be fine. I know, I try to make a fee cheaper, so it still costs you something. But maybe not 4 coins. Oh yeah, yesterday we talked about you, Lieutenant. At the end of your turn, if you control acrylic, spawn a zealot on this row. And for fee, you can even transform. A passive related to poison would be fitting. I know, I think ability is fine on its own. First, Horde 5, Spawnzilla, transform 5 for 8 into 4 for 8 and 1 armor and a lower horde. Fee 1. Yeah. I don't know. Why would you play this nowadays? Wow. If you want the Firesworns, we talked about them. But when I can see the old... The activation got changed now, nobody plays it. Yeah, but nobody plays those outside of one specific use for Hellweed. And even then Hellweed is half of the time is created, if I'm not mistaken. But like... yeah, why would you play this? Answerable, slow, has a pass like secondary spender ability, needs to be like 6 for 7. Yeah, I don't think making it 5 makes any difference. Docking 1 provision as well, you need to like buff more both. You could also rework, like sure it spawns at the end of your turn. So this is not the bronze that spawns on a click. But I could see this being reworked. I wouldn't mind it to do something else. And maybe pull Firesworn out of irrelevance. The card art is nice. The archetype is that. To deploy, spawn and condition, repeat deploy. It was basically an engine overload with all those 9, 7, 8 provision cards that was playing it. Man, I've just seen Pastore. We're skipping to Pastore immediately. What a card! And in Syndicate as well, so good. Double faction Syndicate cards. Never again. Okay, so back. Only an art played Pastore and it was bad, and yeah, everyone questioned that RNG as well. So on this we are finishing our Pastore program. Flinder's Crew goes to the same as the Forgotten Treasure. Like, I've seen it played like a week ago against me. Busted. I know, the Tight Cloaks archetype falls apart when pushed. At least that's my impression. I haven't tested it too much. But the Pastore memes? Yeah, I played it on stream when I was just starting quite a lot, I'd say. Ferko, Fine Tutor, Tavern Brawl, interesting. Mercenary Contract was not successful. Spend all your coins. Chat, do you like doing any activities in your real life where it forces you to spend all your coins? Well, if not, then Mercenary Contract is probably not something you'd need to sign. I remember Neverhood given deck with Pastode and Tridem Infantry, Anna Stranger. Yeah, Anna Stranger, when she was playable, was an insanely good card. It probably would have been better playing double Tridem Infantry with her, but, well, you can fit Pastode there. Should be spent based on provision. I don't know. Like, cool. Coolio. It's a tutor. But I never tried playing it, so I don't know how bad it is. I know that everyone gave up on this card, but I don't think... I'm not the biggest SY player. I do play it occasionally. I hate that it cannot tutor Tamara. Does Tamara sound like someone who will sign a mercenary contract? Okay, I don't know, like, do we just rework this, or do we change it to up to the number of coins spent? Yeah, I cannot fairly assess it. I haven't touched it at all. Why would you even tutor Tamara? Because Tamara boosts all witch hunters everywhere by 1. So it's like Iris, but everywhere. When was contract added? Last expansion? 1 of 4 cards, right? $7p. Sign right here to be on the dotted, ignore the blood. Coolio. Pugo. Double faction cut. Dead for 3 years. We talked about this in Monsters, in Syndicate. Once again, why would you? You can smack the flying Redanian. Was Boat and Funky Pirates and Mercenary Contract, wasn't it? It should have been. Or was it an expansion earlier? I don't know. I would assume that it... Yeah. Captain Ship, Captain Contract, Bird Crew, and the Lady. So yeah, it was last expansion. We got quite a few cards, not 4 per faction, so yeah. Contract sneaked in. So Pugo, rather useless. I don't know what they owe damage in. You don't want it. There are better things to play. Greater Brothers should stay as a meme card. If you are into that, otherwise needs like a complete rework, because those times when this card was a meme have passed. Now people meme with let's play 15 Sayanas and then do something. Before that was everyone's or at least some streamers monthly routine. Let's try the Greater Brothers again, and then you click and then you flip the power and armor, and then you play a card and rip it all, or like change it once again. So good. But yeah, God, I haven't seen this meme on any YouTube. I should have capitalized on this. Bygone times where 10 for 7 was somewhat appealing. Yeah. But it wasn't really appealing to be played as a card for that value. It was basically only used for the meme. The tag that doesn't matter, the mutant. Well, there was some. I think we had Demon at one time that wasn't also doing anything, so... Oh well. Not everything that was planned, not everything came to fruition. So yeah, you can just rework it completely. I don't know what, but even as a meme, it's not funny anymore. Roland, let it be. Fabian Hale is, yeah, that bad bounty unit that cannot find its home. It's already at 7 provisions. It has Intimidate, so there are like passive things going on with this card. It places a bounty, so it's competing with 4 provision cards at a cost of 7 provisions. The Insanity package needs a rework in general. Well, the BGF is kinda fine-ish. It's sad that they are not seeing much play recently. Great haircut. Yeah, I should get one like him. So that there is no hair between the headphones. To get a better grip so they are not like moving. It would suit you? Yeah, I think so as well. Now maybe let time try to achieve similar effect. Although there is a... Yeah, you guys love the molding bolding from Gwent joke, so there will be not that much Gwent later on, so it's harder. Maybe Greater Brothers could be Insanity Synergy card. Yeah, people tried to play Hail, but like, why? Hello, Wolfsbane. Yeah, I think she's very expensive, and Syndicate doesn't have an opportunity to just create that 13 provision spot for her. But yeah, she's threatening, and you probably just kicking something else out and go for those engines. I'm just like, we don't know at the moment if they're changing anything about Passiflora, Peaches, Sliced Actresses. If they don't, those engines might be not that intimidating, but if there is like 4 or 5 of them, then of course it is. 20 subs, you get Fabian Hale haircut. For whom? For myself? Nah, no thank you. Also, you cannot do anything for the Twitch subs anymore. Like, the subs coming from Turkey are not the subs coming from UK. And they are not the subs coming from, I don't know, Brazil. So there is no unified Twitch sub value anymore. I think I got some, like, for 1 month or for one of the streams, 1 sub, and then you better not to look into the stream's stats. So yeah, Amazon is a very good company. It's good that they adjusted the prices so that it's cheaper in the countries with like lower economy. factors, parameters, whatever, but at the same time, yeah, subs is definitely not a way to make money from Twitch. Nothing is, honestly. Unless you are in top 100 of Twitch streamers. Like, at least I'm getting something from my YouTube. For 3 years of streaming on Twitch, the best money I got was Raid Shadow Legends. Not like this is a point of complaining. I also haven't streamed recently consistently, but yeah, there we go. Syndicate, talk about money, easy. So back to reality. Fabian Hale. As I said, Bounty probably doesn't need more ins and outs, so the ability can stay, but the card will probably not see any play unless it's overstated as hell. It competes for its functions with 4 provision cards, 5 provision cards, okay, 4 provision cards mostly for the Bounty, and it won't win that race. Evaldo and Horst. I wonder if they're getting a rework. We got a freaking Novigrad card. And if he spent at least some years of those 15 in Novigrad instead of Oxenford. We'll see what happens. Well, hopefully they are getting reworked this patch, because it's either this patch or never, is my assumption. They are not reworking stuff next month, probably just adjusting. I don't even think they will be reworked. Well, yeah, my assumption is that every bad card gets reworked now, but projects won't have time to adjust 200 cards. So let's be realistic. If any of the cards that we talk about are getting changed like into complete rework and maybe try to be brought up to the standards of current Gwent, we should be happy already. Will Evelt and Horse be good at 6p? Just 2 years ago, they were kind of fine at those 5 for 7s formula. Like, I remember the Aretusa World Cup casts and people played them. 6p. Damage enemy by 2. If Horse is in graveyard, damage by 4 instead. And then there is like a 1-to-1 spending as well. There is no Thirsty Dame for you to profit off of that, but at least you get a spender. But why would you play 7 provision cards? I want Big Bros, Greater Brothers be related to Self-Poison or Firesworn. They are Jack's Experiments. No, it needs to find a new home. Like, as I said, that meme, I haven't seen it pulled off for like 3 years, so nobody cares about the greater... Can you even do that? Do all the cards still do what they used to do? You have Vladimir and Iris. I'm not even sure all the cards are still consistent with the meme. Wasn't the card damage instead of bleed? Well, he was basically a freak show before. What if they moved the other one from deck to graveyard on Diplo instead? Wait, how does that make sense? If both of them are in the graveyard after one round, why do we even have in this effect? Just a thinning function. I don't like evil doing 4 damage, honestly. So damage might be adjusted to 3. There was a way to him to get tons of armor. Hey, you basically clicking that and then you're flipping armor and health and do it multiple times. So with Vladimir and Iris, but Iris got some reworks, but her armor reaping but is still the same. But yeah, you needed Vladimir, and I guess Vladimir didn't get any change. I don't mind lore-wise the second brother going into the graveyard, but the effects need to be kinda different. I don't like deal 4 damage. I have flashbacks from early Homecoming. But maybe they just adjust provisions. But why would you play this instead of polarization? Everyone likes polarization. And then there is like a spender with damage instead of just damage once. What if Insanity wouldn't ignite shields and armor for the cut-ups abilities? Kinda irrelevant. So Insanity is only important for the BGF, right? Are they really changing like, it's not really relevant for anything else that much. This doesn't care about the shields, this doesn't as well. No, at least not too much. And Endraga, Arena Endraga is just the card that should have been reworked 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Been a long time. Barely seen any play. It's 6 for 5 now. Amazing. So how close are we to being done here? I'm still laughing that Sucrose is also a SY card, and by that logic it should be used with Insanity, but it's not working. Well, it doesn't work for a good reason, doesn't it? Because otherwise you infinitely erasing your opponent's side of the board with BGF. So Tamara, that Witch Hunter buff didn't work out. Iris was more successful with the buffing. Vesemir was more successful. Tamara just felt always unnecessary. I would have liked her probably just reworked. I'm also not okay, she's praying there, but why do we need to buff all the Witch Hunters? Question mark. Pastore, we talked about him, rather useless, especially in SY. 6p or 7 strength. Engine overload. Yeah, like, sure, but... Hi Andy, long time no see indeed. We spent our evenings looking at Deck Builder and just discussing all the cards with no particular target. Have you seen the new reveals, Andy? Are you coming back to Gwent with the new patch? Since it's the last time you can experience a Gwent expansion feels. Oh, Teddy. Hello. Tamara just dead from the Novigrad expansion. Needs a full rework. As good a way to spend evenings as any. I guess that's true. When is the patch drop in? What day is it? Tuesday? Is it? Should be? Probably? Maybe? Wednesday? Yeah, 12th, so Tuesday. And apparently we are getting reworks and buffs and whatnot. Hi Poopin, I'm streaming. I kinda would have liked it reworked. This ability didn't work out. They tried to... I think they changed the stat line. No. Pastodi useless, tunnel drill, well. Still playable. Back from the dead. Reworked. Balanced. And better than ever. Okay, not ever before, but pretty nice design. Haven't seen the cards yet. There are only 4 cards out of, well, 12 out. And they are, okay, I have them, so I'll show them to you. We need your expert opinion when you don't know what's happening, but nobody was playing PASSIFLORA. So you get a card like this, and we don't know how much is getting changed. Give your assessment. Yeah. God of the Dead. What a song. Novi sucks. Novi got. Or Novi good. I think it will be seen play. I'm not sure it will be abused with Wimviandras because now this card only summons a Sliced Actress and doesn't spawn one. Well, yeah. I think if it would spawn one, it would be better. I think that, yeah, the thinning from this card is kind of weird factor to consider. I wouldn't want to drop her round 1. It doesn't look that good. Wait, 13 for 13 with 2 engines doesn't look good. Man. Former pro players are hard to please. Even if they are going to PASSIFLORA, there is just no pleasing them. They want more and more. It just needs the right deck. Yeah, that's why I said we don't know what's happening with PASSIFLORA Peaches and Sliced Actresses. But yeah, it's very expensive in terms of provisions. And I guess there is no reason dropping her in the current SY deck, so you are not just replacing Jack for her. So, as you said, you need a better fit with the good deck, but hopefully they are working on PASSIFLORA and all the cards surrounding it. Maybe reworking something? Question mark. Maybe it's absolutely broken. My first instinct is always that I'm a bit skeptical. I see. It fits in any deck. You just run it and the single Peaches. I'm not sure it's that simple in terms of like you'd need an engine on another engine for this to be worth it. Sometimes Passiflora Peaches is awkward. What's its horde for? Well, yeah, this activates it. But what if you need to spend next turn? Then you have no coins. It would be better if it couldn't break as well. Yeah, but then it's not every deck. Привет, как думаешь, этой картой можно выиграть раунд? У Синда есть некоторые деки, которые хотят выиграть именно первый раунд. Ну, я думаю, если закинуть, особенно с двумя движками, если у тебя монеты лишние есть, то вполне возможно выиграть раунд. Но дорого. Лучше, конечно, не платить трибют. I kind of would want to build Seductress's spam. Okay, and the second card. Can we? No, we cannot. Fuck. I'm pressing the wrong button. That's the reason. Okay. I was like, it was working. So Novigrad is the second card, and I feel like opinions are getting split on this one. Trev mentioned that in Nick's chat people were calling this overpriced. But having an ability to play something from the order, even if it's a shit card that you are getting, because there is like too many of them to choose from, having coins makes your uninteractivity pretty decent. Would have been insane if it could create a bronze crime units as well, but well, there is probably a good reason why it doesn't. So it's only gank units. But the like long count potential is off the charts. Every turn you get a coin. Is Shady Vendor a gank unit? No, it was removed from the pool. That was probably the last nail in that Sigi deck coffin that made people play other decks instead. I also don't see the reason behind that. It was like a necessary last shot into the deck. The deck was pretty cool. Like me, not really a big syndicate enjoyer. I enjoyed playing it. But yeah, the pool of cards is a bit too wide, and some good ones are missing from it. Okay, so where were we? Ludovicus. Remember when this was played? Like, seriously played. Not just, haha, I'm gonna meme today. But people were like, I'll throw this into my deck. 49 cards pool. Okay, yeah, should be close to that. 6 ganks. And some of them having like 9 cards, some 5 cards, more or less. 6 for 6 waiting room. How do we have so many cards that need double buffs? But it was kind of relevant. Like, not everyone was playing it in life coach deck. Let's call it life coach deck. But people tried. Results were varying. Can be a complete rework if you need a card and you have a great effect in mind. Like, nobody played this card since Life Coach left Gwent for the second time. It would be cool if it spawned Tiger's Eye. You can even play with it, like get some coins as a profit and gain the Tiger's Eye as an order on the board on one of them, change the timers and tribute costs. Possibly too strong, but yeah, this promotes once again the thing where people hold Novigrad, the Tiger's Eye and something else. And then just go spend in one big burst. Don't really want that. Gellert is fine. Evelyn I got asked about yesterday, so yeah, she's not even that complex. I was expecting more of it instead of just getting coins. As Goodbye Gift, CDPR deletes Nilfgaard and Syndicate and Monsters and NR. And Squirtle and Skellige. Yeah, we are moving in that direction. I'm still a bit skeptical. We get some bullshit bugs like Dagon bug. We have some weird stuff happening in Gwent occasionally. I hope that system is completely isolated so that when we change a number here or number here, nothing else breaks. That's the hope. The reality, if there will be like only one person responsible for keeping up one eye on Gwent, we're one failure away. I can patch those numbers, but I am certain that those numbers are not connected with the 99 power Dagon artifact that you can occasionally see when your card is not loading up, and that doesn't on its own connected with Syndicate cards being available, all Syndicate cards being available for Nilfgaard in Deck Builder. Didn't Ludovicus have Intimidate before? I don't think so. I was asked if I want to do a card reveal, and you said no? What the hell, Teddy? But see, that's the real recognition. I kinda like what they're doing with the reveals. In terms of not just going to the same content creators revealing it. I understand that everyone would have loved it to have this last one hurrah, but at the same time there is only 12 cards. I said no twice. Ay, Pabs. You had 3 reveals. I have no social media. Just replace the entire website with one card. I couldn't care less. Oh, yeah. Some people find enjoyment in it. I'm pretty sure some streamers... no. Well, not really. I think some of the streamers just created a YouTube video and never upload it anymore just to have that reveal. So some find a joy in this. You can reveal it on Reddit and be done, but he doesn't have a Reddit account. But well, if you don't care, it's completely fine to not care as well. And of course it was beneficial to get out there for like any streamer. So everyone usually applied for it. Reddit is not a social media, it's a social construct, yes. So Evelyn, like, fine, I didn't like spend to zero mechanic. Well, today it definitely is, with its popularity in US, and there is so much shadow paid content there nowadays, with all the movie news getting pushed. I'm not on tech subreddits, but well, you can see completely genuine stories getting pushed at times. I browse all and I blocked thousands of subs. I see. And 10,000 users. I have no idea how people manage to... I never pay attention to usernames. And you occasionally see in comments, or like, oh, you are the dude from that, I don't know, mechanical monitors community. It's bots? I see. The bots that post, I guess. Okay. So Evelyn, not a fan, it can stay as is, but that archetype didn't work out really. Spent to zero. Woohoo. Can be overstated and made playable. Maybe it's fine as is. I just don't like this spent to zero. Maybe. I've seen some streamers run it, but not on the serious level of play, unless I forget someone. Will this card be back into the meta? Can it be? At 9 coins, it boosts by 3. Piggy only boosts by 2. Imperial Marine only boosts by 2. Now, if you hold 9 coins, 9, I was showing 8, 9 coins, it boosts by 3 every turn. A connoisseur with bottomless pockets and a soul black as star. I'm not even sure we should be scared of this dude anymore, but it was surely annoying as fuck playing against him 3 years ago. I wonder if the horde somehow gets pushed over everything else somehow. Like, you see PASSIFLORA cards beating one card getting released, and if they want to try it out, he's only good with PASSIFLORA, with Horde Leader, and if any of that sticks, yeah, man with no name, hello, hello. Yep, but we might get the cash comeback. You never know. They can change Hidden Cache to -3 again. I don't think it will break the meta and Saul would be played again, maybe. Same for the ship. Yeah, I'm kind of expecting some shift in SY, but it all depends on how brave projects are, because they have only 1 month to revert and adjust to their brave changes if they are doing any. So maybe they were kind of hesitant half of the patches. To give them credit, they reworked a lot of stuff, Maybe power creeping, the stuff that got reworked only 2 months ago. Some of the newly released cards get nuked into oblivion after 1 month of dominance. Some of them, like Demo Event, are still playable. Others, I couldn't come up with an example on the go, are not. But there's definitely cards like this. Is there going to be a way to tweak leaders in Kungfoorabbit? No, I don't think so. They also have November to patch stuff up. Didn't they say that November is the first month where community does the stuff and they just try to see if anything breaks? I think that was in the dev update. I don't think it was referring to December. I think it was about November. I think all we are tweaking is, yeah, power and provision. If I like, can you dedicate one person who is brave enough from CDPR who will be like, you know what, this season I will change provision of one of the leaders, and that man gonna be responsible and remembered in the history of humankind as the one who finally broke Gwent and servers were switched off. No, nobody take, like, this will be the highest paid job ever, to fix leader provisions when the Gwent is in Gwinfinity mode. Gort, people asked about uncapping it. For Syndicate, yes, please uncap him for Syndicate. I don't care. For Seamless, cap Seamless, uncap Gort, I'm fine with it. I'm not even sure how people are getting Gort over 15 points half of the time. We were living in another reality. Recently, when I see Gort, it's usually like 14 points, 15 points at best. Yeah, I like... Yeah, but Seamless Waylay spam is not love. I'm all in for buffing everything else in ST, but I'm tired of Seamless, honestly, like... Finish it off. I might have enjoyed quadruple harvest deck for a little bit, but it was like too many steps to make a mediocre play half of the time. Play gold, replay gold, purify gold, repeat until profit. Just nerf Alisa and Asaya. Solved. Are we nerfing Asaya? I guess battle stations are getting replayed more and more. Elvis deck only have a few good cards. And if you remove them, it's over. Elves decks have... you cannot fit Yavin properly into Elves deck nowadays, so I think they have enough good cards if we are considering Yavin a good card, and he is. His removal potential is pretty goddamn good. With what we have now, it's like, wow, yeah, you just played 18 points of removal, 36 points and 6 bodies, well done. Yeah, that's what I don't like, and Cargo kind of made it even more toxic at times. No, not to my liking. I'd prefer some different approach. I don't even mind the Angus buffing all the tokens permanently. I find it kinda... well, I'll name it a clever approach to making elves even stronger. No, seamless is not my friend. Oh, we're almost done with... today we're stopping on golds, by the way. So, Gwent, yeah, for Syndicate can be uncapped, it's kinda irrelevant. Full crime deck probably gets it to 15 at best anyway. Pickpocket, well, what else can you ask for if not for 9 coins with the lined pockets? Cargoless Elves work, same without waylay spam. Yeah, there you can play the Yavin for certain. It just becomes the question of can you find all your cards properly, which was the big spot of elves for the longest time possible. Damnation, I like the rework. It only is being used in one specific deck, but it's too good of a meme deck to be broken. So Procession of Penance goes into the Fire Sworn box of irrelevance for the longest time possible. 12 for 6 is an insane stat line. Berengar is Baneplate and Cortis Shield Wall. But it's not good for Syndicate. Why would you? Especially with Fire Sworn. That must have hurt, by the way. Why would you? Especially if Fire Sworn is not an archetype that works. Court is fine. It deserves its Intimidate back though. But card is playable even without it. But Intimidate. Octavia works in Bounty. Kalkstein just dismantles cultist players. Here, Skewer Tooth. You can make it 6 power, but it kind of works. Hello Raiders. We are finishing up looking through most of the Syndicate golds. Welcome, welcome. How did you like the new cards? If you spend time reviewing those, we are just reviewing everything for no reason. This is the list. You are even... I know why. For some reason I thought that it was deception. Yeah, I've seen this more or less in action. Yeah. You don't have to run Cargo. Cargo was hated on by like Nick, for example. But yeah, thanks for the raid. Welcome Raiders. We have played a bit of Gwent, but for the second day in a row, we are mostly spending time in the deck builder. Just looking at the cards. So, you can make it 6, but you cannot go lower than 6 provisions, and it's an immune card. Intimidate 3 would be also breaking it. Doesn't need a rework. It's just not meta relevant enough with its Intimidate. No unit Syndicate. Crime deck loves it though. Then we have Roderick. This mold of 4 power 7 provisions, now for 6. Those cards are kind of dead. Even Dunka is mostly irrelevant now. Especially after they changed how the spring equinox. Speaking of the decks that were revitalized for one day and then kinda died out. Nature's Gift is one of those examples that I couldn't come up with immediately. It's still playable. Somebody in chat gonna go immediately like, it's good. Egmont is worst offender with those cards. Egmont is also... They never fixed its... animation, right? What the fuck is happening with his head? I'm blocking some of it, but I'm kinda lazy to move the cam. Oh wait, neck pain now. No. So we are left with... No, you can rework him. You can rework like him, Dooney, Van Hurst. And the others got me to pro multiple times. It looks like an honest elves that are not trying to replay too many things, but I'm afraid that if you don't get your consistency off, yeah, you're just getting overrun. Otherwise, elves have been present in meta for like 4 years at the very least. And then what? Rico, very good card, especially in Syndicate. Wheel of Fortune can be left as is. We need some stupid cards in Gwent. Wheel of Fortune can be one of those. And XCOM is 5 provisions already, so we cannot really outdo. You can expand it to look at 4 cards if you really wish to buff it. And this is your last chance. Play Rico and SY. Yeah, counter, I don't know, Melusine. It's not Profit. And it's not another beast lost in time. You miss your opportunity with Skewertooth, but I guess it's not lost in time. It's like 6 provisions, 5 points immunity. Engine. If you build a deck around it, it's gonna be pretty good value. It's just that the rest of the deck might not carry enough. So on this we end the SY review for today. It's past midnight. Yep, exactly. Now I wonder if the bronzes like this getting touched at all, or are they just relying on changing the or adding a new card? Never seen play. Bronzes are easy. Never really seen play. But it's a single order of poisoning ally and boosting it by 2. No profit, no passive value, just poison and get 2 points. And hopefully transfer the poison later on, or like use Ryla for it nowadays. Walter could get a cooldown too, it can get anything. Pearl Diver, very good card. Like Syndicate bronzes are so easy to shit on. Maybe it's good, nobody tried it. Irregular probably did. It was played in Jackpot by Life Coach. This was played by Tailbot in qualifiers or something. But that doesn't change the fact that this card should have been changed like eternity ago. Another beast lost in time. I guess mutant is kinda a beast. So if we do a speedrun, fine, as in fine that you can adjust it in Homecoming and it doesn't need a rework. Fine. Can be like, it already got a rework. I wouldn't ask for another one. It's a fun card that sadly doesn't see implementation nowadays, but a cute combo, complete rework, or but just forget it. Boring, doesn't really, mostly feels an R-like, but Syndicate double function cards are shit. Good, can be adjusted before home Gwinfinity. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. No, it's not good. It was fine like 3 years ago. Now it's well, you can play it. Well, I know that you played, but it's not the greatest. Its targeting is also ass. It would have been better if it spawned a special that you can play on 3 units, because sometimes you just don't want to break the positioning. Kiki Warrior, well, monster card, played with Flying Redanian. I did, I know I did 3 years ago, but not since. Fine-ish, nice find sometimes from the profits spender special. Can be adjusted, needs to be adjusted now, because I don't think moving it to 4 power helps it. If you want it to like be a consideration. Yeah, I understand. Fine. Last chance to make it something, to make it playable, but maybe players just didn't test it. I seen a regular mention that Vice 2, it might be good. Will it be too good? I am not doing math, it's past midnight. I guess complete rework, because nobody risks it. But you play 4 for 4, so be happy. Just wait for them coins. Fine. Just no space for them in the bounty decks, but the card is... it would have been fun if people played it, but no, fine, especially from location, and people are playing it without location as well. Fine for devotion decks, give you coins. A meme card, I love this meme too much to ask for rework. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, probably just rework this card. Now just let him be the lonely champion. I wonder if this gets any love, or the new card is the only love. Fine. Too scary if we buff him, so let Cataplaki be 4 for 4. He has the senior for that. I love this meme, so let it be. We're not changing Jackal, although less and less relevant over time. You cannot tell me that if there is Imperial Marine who gets 2, that this card also doesn't deserve flanking. Wait, Madame is 14 for 13 range deploy with peaches. I thought they were 3, not 4. Yeah, it's pretty, like, it starts growing immediately, and yeah, it is 4 power, so I guess you count it as a 13. I, like, didn't finalize the math, but yeah, I think I showed them, so just missed it when I was maybe lagging while or Twitch was lagging. You have other stuff to play. No reason to run that. Fine, we talked about this. I liked when Renegade Mages were played. I remember Achilles deck with them. When it's Tribute 0, why wouldn't it? Who plays in their sane mind? But this card is necessary. You cannot change it. You cannot really buff it. There is Cleaver, there is Justice, so it stays as is. Sadly, Squirtle is not playing it in Dwarf decks. It needs a deploy. Okay, yeah, fair enough. We can change it. You probably this probably doesn't get a crazy deploy anyway, and yeah, all the cards that I mentioned, they, yeah, you cannot change it stat wise. It's already at 4 provision, so you cannot lower that. Deploy, I guess, is fair. Not an order. The deploy solves the issue. If you want this to be played from hand, but I think their priority was to try and change the last cards that are completely irrelevant. So this probably stays as is. It's just that you are not playing it from hand. Fine. Not a Syndicate card, but for Nilfgaard it's okay. A very successful adjustment, rework. The previous version was shit. This worked out pretty nice. This was going with the Renegade Mage. So Achilles deck run both of them. Well, if your tribute is 0, you can run them, but yeah, the category is kind of irrelevant, so nobody's running. The Renegade Mages are just better, so you can rework Arena Ghoul into something useful, but my bet is it's just that, and nobody's playing it. Unless you enjoy the artwork. Fine. I guess fine. There is no time for Saul to get buffed. Fine. Although I don't like the change all that much. Oh, this split. Fine. Like you can make it more interesting, but there are multiple cards, so if we're changing one, we'd have to change all of them. Never really found its spot. If you are desperate for coins, yeah, you just destroy your own stuff. New locations and whatnot. You still need Candle. You hold your location till the end, and then you don't need coins. So what are you destroying outside of Flying Rudanian? Another cut up. A loss to time. Fine. Another Tight Cloak lost in time. This deck was in every crime deck at one moment. Yeah, I know that it is for the boat, but outside of that, like, you'd expect new locations that have order maybe getting destroyed, but no. The Syndicate locations or Candle is kind of important, so Not much to destroy. Fine, fine. I never gave Magpie a shot, although he raided us yesterday. So I cannot really assess it properly. 3, 5, and then you spawn for the fee. Well, it's not good enough for Chirontia and Ixora. Easily removable and, well, 5 for 5. But once again, if anything changes, like if you make crowns resilient for some stupid reason, if you allow it to create more interactivity easily, that would be dangerous with Syndicate, so I'm not sure what would you do. But yeah, once again, I must admit I haven't really played the card to know. It was fine. It even deals not 2 but 3 damage. It's just that the crime decks are not really playing like the crime decks of the old times. Return category. Okay, if we return category and make it 6 provisions, it's bad, right? It already lost its profit, it lost its category, we cannot really increase the provisions. People love it, and the card is like, it's certified busted. So, the nerfs were kind of called for. People are still playing this. But the deck that was playing it suffered a bit too much. Just give us attack bad. But if why not cards a premium? Literally unwatchable. Just for you. It's not that it's not premium. The second copy was never crafted. Okay, let's make the stream watchable again. Yeah, fixed. Fixed. So yeah, easiest way is just to return its tag after this nerf. I remember this card. I remember. What was the... I wanted to check. Horde 7. Horde 9. Okay, so that's 2-point dog on the Horde. Yeah, this card, I'm not really happy they decided to ruin it. She's so strong when left unchecked. Yeah, but moving Horde by 2 immediately as you only nerf, когда стрим анимирования всей коллекции, так она почти вся анимирована. У меня больше проблемы с ключами потратить. Вот стрим открывания всех этих страничек можно устроить. Коллекция — это только новые карты. Некоторые не анимированные. Может быть, даже пара незакрафченных есть. This is a card I have no clue what to do with. Yeah, she's scary when left unchecked, and if you start rolling and getting your coins, it was pretty fun though. I wouldn't say that it was the most insane Syndicate deck ever. But it was nerfed like 1 in the end. Horde 8 and take it or leave it. If 7 was too busted. It is a matter of the deck not being good right now, or is there something wrong with this card? I would assume that it was just having to do with the jackpot. It has to do with the jackpot getting nerf after nerf, so that people just were like, oh, I cannot feed anything. Yep, like better decks appeared because you cannot feed the good cards into the other ones, or like the focus changed. Bounty got a pretty sweet addition, rework, support, so kind of meh, but at the same time it's a fine card to like play one of if you really need the Firesworn clerics. We talked about them multiple times. Fine if created, probably don't run from hand, but you can, like, I think I've seen some people try it, because you can threaten the buffs on your important cards on your defender. I love this meme, so let's keep it. Treasure Huntress works magic with treasure scenario. Yeah, I'm like, I was lost at it at the beginning of the stream, like what do you do for it to make an appearance in the meta? Fine. Kinda bad. If you really need thinning, why not? Witch Hunters and Of the Books Mastermind are the top Syndicate ones. So yeah, there is like literally no reason to run it. With Horde potentially back in the on the menu. Two Raiders. Well, they are better than Casino Bouncers. I'm not sure. Like, we needed fall test for the Casino Bouncers. Also, man, seeing all this. Draft is fucking stupid. Fine. Those I like, yeah, the thinners, but nobody is playing those thinners anymore, and some of them just got reworked, like the Nilfgaard ones. Okay, they still have dogs, I suppose. But the dogs are not comparable with Raiders, different timelines. So fine, we'll see what happens with this. Well, Novigrad is trying to make gangs happen. Will this deck make a return? I don't know. Little Bird was... Was it changed at all? No, it wasn't. It's just the card that needs a specific... It needs a specific deck, and current Syndicate decks have no use for Little Bird. Because, well, you kinda need the gangs. Netrunner, appreciate the follow. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. For 2, you can buff by like 5. Why not? Occasionally. That's the reason for cooldown. Otherwise, pretty bonkers. But yeah, I hope that the deck gets worked back into the meta. Redraim, in his assessment of new cards, mentioned that this is kind of power crap nowadays. Like, you're better off running the Shady Vendor instead of Salamage. You still can occasionally pick Salamage from location, but yeah, people kind of stopped running those. And some time ago it was fine. Does mutants count as gangs? The tag mutant, no. If you look at the gang, criminal organizations, including Blind Eyes, Crown Splitters, Cut-Ups, Firesworn, Salamandra, and Tight Cloak. So if one of the gangs is like as attack available on the card, this counts, but mutants themselves are not listed here, so no. They all have Salamandra tag. So might be adjusted. I don't know. Like if you buff it to 6 power in Gwentfinity, maybe some will consider. This is a fun one. It's just that the brothers got a bit of a nerf and people started playing different decks. And well, it rarely gets picked from the location nowadays. Another poison hound, or another poison axis. Keep it, although it's more expensive than the others. Boost self for each crime in your hand. Thoughts? Will it be playable? And why, and how, and why, and for what reason? Adjustable in Gwentfinity? Should it be touched already? If you have a bad memory, like I do, so it was profit 1, boost self by 1 for each crime in your hand. Then it got intimidate, boost self by 1 for each crime. And then intimidate kinda disappeared. Wait. And the stat line, yeah, it got buffed to 5. Well, today this card could easily be like before it was nerfed. Boost by crimes 10 plus intimidate. Yeah, that's what I wanted to check, because I remember it getting changed multiple times, but the last one was just the power. It was a bit overstepping when it had the intimidate. Standard bearer, good to spawn, but never played from hand nowadays. It was broken, it was fun, it was a bit dumb, but I guess we have a lot of dumb cards. Making it 2 power with intimidate would be fine. 2 power. Well, it boosts self immediately. Although, how many crimes are you playing when you open with self crackers? 2, 3. Yeah, well, depends on your hand, but you can return, but yeah, you'd need to lower the points, not by 1 point. Don't put it at 4 for 5 and intimidate. I know, I didn't like the meta of, oh, find 2 of them and you start in hand on red coin. Ooh. Isn't the +2 a turn for Nilfgaard 5 provisions? You mean Marine? +2 a turn or soldiers? Most of them are 5 provisions. Yes. 1 line left. Either way, bad for Syndicate. I'm fine with BGF. This needs complete rework. This is definitely a card that you go Ftir, Alethea, Arena Ghoul, Arena Indraga, just rework them. But will they? Question mark. Fine. Cannot say this is like completely fine. Might use a touch. Fine. This archetype is just that. It has a lot of things going for it, but it's just that for like 2 years. And even the playable files one is just playing different cards. I don't think I want this changed. There should be always potential for townsfolk, but they are never supposed to be buffed. Pulling the strings, very busted card. Well, not anymore. Nobody plays it, but yeah, it's time to go to bed, so appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, well, drop a follow here and go to YouTube channel. We have similar format uploaded from yesterday about the monsters, so if 4.5 hours of this rambling is not enough, go and watch another 4 on YouTube about the monsters. New cards were revealed today. If you missed them, let me show them again. Novigrad with a order spawning a gank unit, and then we got the Madame Marqouise Serenity, which provides you with like potentially 3 engines on the board, which is kind of scary but kind of very expensive. So let's see how that works out.